Very similar body types, very tall, both fighters able to use that range, and a nice sharp inside leg kick there by Chris Chapman.
Chapman trying to throw that right hand. Isaacson gets away from it. Again, measuring the distance early and throwing kicks. Isaacson seems to be very light on his feet, Jeremy.
Yeah, both these fighters looking to bounce around. You try and create this movement to see if your opponent can give up what they're looking for, and a nice kick there by Chapman. As you move side to side, you see how your opponent reacts to that, and then you use it later on in the fight to use the same motion, try and get the same result, and be able to counter.
Isaacson now looking for a takedown, gets his opponent up against the fence. Chapman doing a nice job of defending that takedown.
Nice whizzer there on the underhook side, using it as an overhook now, trying to take away the advantage that the underhook gives, controlling the wrist, trying to stall out here and eventually maybe move off the cage.
Isaacson continuing to try for the single leg up against the cage. Chapman also looking at the screen to get a different angle, using the TV to his advantage.
And why not? Use technology as much as you can.
Isaacson again still trying for that takedown. A nice throw there from Chapman, who winds up in a half guard of Isaacson. Isaacson on the bottom.
Able to get his hips through using the overhook and the underhook on the far side. A nice throw there. And now looking to get in behind. But a good switch there by Cody Isaacson. And I think an attempt on the arm here from Chris Chapman, perhaps maybe going for an omoplata, but stuffed nicely by Isaacson.
Still trying to secure that one arm down and isolate over. Isaacson rolling through that and still on top. Isaacson now transitioned to the top. Chapman still looking for submission attempts, but Isaacson manages to pass with just 15 seconds remaining in round one. Trying to muscle his way out of it was Chapman, but Isaacson doing a nice job to stay on top.
Yeah, good control here. Tough round to call as both fighters had their moments.
Looks like both fighters are spry and coming out, throwing some quick kicks and punches, going both ways here.
A little bit of swelling on the nose of Cody Isaacson, maybe a shot that landed as both guys trade with body kicks. Nice teak.
Chapman's corner calling for him to go in and throw his hands. Again, we know he's got punching power after he knocked out Scott McDonald in just 16 seconds.
Well, and that's something that that Isaacson is going to have to be aware of the entire fight, is that punching power. Now, whether Chapman landed right on the spot where he needed to with both those guys, or whether he has legitimate punching power. Once bitten, twice shy, and a nice attempt at a takedown there. So maybe once was a fluke, but twice shows it's a pattern here. And now we see how Chris Chapman's going to work from the top.
Chapman again using the striking to set up the takedown as Isaacson ran out of room up against the cage. And Chapman trying to work from the dominant position in the half guard. A loose half guard though. May have a choke in here, got the arm in. We'll see Isaacson does pop out, unable to secure the choke on the other side. Chris Chapman now gives up position and finds himself on the bottom.
That's something we've seen many times at the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship, where somebody has a dominant position and goes for a guillotine choke and ends up on the bottom. And it's something that a lot of gyms are starting to combat. They're starting to let their fighters know that these aren't the days where you can catch people in guillotines anymore. And a nice triangle attempt, and it's in nice and tight. Now, if he can get to the head and bring it down, this is going to be a very dangerous situation for Cody Isaacson. Good length here, and there it is, a little bit of pressure, and this is going to start to wear down very heavily on Cody Isaacson.
Tuck the arm in, has the triangle pulling down on the head. Needs to extend the hips a little. Isaacson, not much trouble there for him as he's got his neck wide open.
And one of the disadvantages, and good defense here shown by Cody Isaacson, one of the disadvantages of this tall, long body that Chris Chapman has is there's a lot of space in there. He doesn't have the big, giant Muay Thai legs that you see some guys get in where there's very little space. But this is going to take a big toll on Cody Isaacson, and now landing from the bottom is Chris Chapman.
Just 10 seconds remaining, trying to transition it into an armbar, is unable to do so, and continuing to throw punches from the top is Cody Isaacson. A very close fight, and we are underway with the third and final round between these two amateur fighters. Chapman in the red and white trunks, Isaacson in the black. Chapman comes out throwing again.
Very technical, and a nice call on him on is Chapman, and now a smile by Chris Chapman saying, hey, let's go, let's mix it up. You want to get in here, maybe make it more of a fight. But at this point, and a nice shot landed, a good right hand by Cody Isaacson, and now in on the shot and finishing, although a guillotine attempt here by Chris Chapman, more in desperation, but trying to reduce that airflow, maybe tire out Cody Isaacson for a late round push.
2 minutes and 15 seconds remaining in the third round as Isaacson pops out of the guillotine. We'll see what he can do from here on top. Both of these fighters have been able to reverse on the other one in a dominant position. Isaacson had a nice pass earlier. We'll see how their ground game works and whether or not we see a submission. We know Isaacson can. He's got 3 submissions in 5 fights so far in his MMA career.
And trying to posture up. Working in, nice high on there. Now going again for a triangle is Chris Chapman. And he's got a good position, again, using those long arms to his advantage. Needs to really extend that arm and pull down on the head. Good defense shown by Isaacson, sitting up, creating the space in between the neck and the leg of Chris Chapman.
And trying to tighten up that triangle, Chapman. Isaacson seems very content at this point to stay in it and ends up getting out of it as Chapman found a little bit frustrating, and now Isaacson finds himself in side control.
Oh, trying to switch out now is Chris Chapman, but a good job of ground control by Cody Isaacson. Less than a minute remaining on our featurefights.ca clock you see in the bottom right-hand corner. Round 3 of this fight at 155 pounds. Chris Chapman in the white trunks, Cody Isaacson in the black. And close fight to call. But this round so far looks like it's going towards Cody Isaacson.
Isaacson on top of Chapman in a very, as you mentioned, Jeremy, a close fight. Side control now for Isaacson. He'll be looking to isolate that far arm if he can. Chapman, a nice wall walk to spin around and keep keep it from Isaacson being able to get that danger, and does flip out, but Isaacson right back to it and throws him down to the ground. A Chael Sonnen-esque round here from Isaacson as he got him to the ground and just seems to be holding him there and dominating from a wrestling position.
Yeah, but again, a nice attempt here at a submission, just short time remaining. I'm sure that Cody Isaacson will be able to hold on.